So hello everyone. Today we are going to look at the 2024 balance sheet of the ICC. Effectively, the ICC's assets and liabilities and its net worth. Obviously, this is a brief overview rather than a detailed analysis, and it's from their published financial statements. Okay, so on to the asset side of the ICC balance sheet. The ICC has fixed assets, property and equipment of $3.8 million. This comprises the value of the ICC headquarters and the land in Dubai, furniture, motor cars, etc. It also includes certain intangible assets. And there's a certain amount of capital work in progress, which is some kind of an ongoing capital project. Okay, they then have investments of $79 million in bonds and mutual funds. These are investments of surplus funds so that they can hopefully get a return that is above bank deposit rates. Then the ICC has advanced $449 million to their members, and these advances are actually in lieu of future distributions that will eventually be made to the members. And until such time as members' distributions are announced, these are treated as advances. The ICC then has trade and other receivables of $452 million, amounts that are owed to them. These are primarily monies that are owed to the ICC for the sale of media rights, and this accounts for approximately $426 million out of the $452 million receivables. Now, an interesting aspect is that the receivables include a net amount of $2 million from a $22 million loan that the ICC made to finance the T20 World Cup in the USA in 2024. Now, I'm not sure who that loan was to, maybe to the company that was set up in the USA to run the T20 World Cup. But out of that loan of $22 million, appears that the ICC has actually written off $20 million as non-recoverable. So the amount due to the ICC has been reduced from $22 million down to $2 million, and the ICC has therefore taken a direct hit of $20 million. Now that's a huge amount of money to be writing off. Now that write-off has been shown in the income statement as a strategic investment cost of $20 million. And at the time I made the video on the ICC income statement, I missed this point. I took things at face value and actually thought, as others would as well probably, that there was some kind of a strategic investment that the ICC has spent $20 million on. But on analyzing the balance sheet and the notes, I now realize that this is not a strategic investment cost, but this is actually a write-off of a bad debt. It's a bad debt, a doubtful debt of $20 million for financing the USA T20 World Cup. And I'm just wondering, that's a huge amount to be writing off. And secondly, why has it been shown as a strategic investment cost in the income statement? I mean, when it's actually a doubtful debt or a bad debt that's been written off, the classification in the income statement is misleading. Even though there is a brief note that points to the explanation, the face of the income statement shows this as a strategic investment cost. And I'm just wondering what the reason is for this classification and how have the auditors accepted this? Now, what the ICC seems to be saying is that, look, we are trying to promote cricket in the USA. This is something that has happened, unfortunately, but it's good for the game in the USA. It's good for world cricket, and it's therefore okay. So let's just call this write-off as a strategic investment cost, and then let's just move on from there. That's what the ICC seems to be saying. Now, regardless of what the ICC says, to my mind, it's a lot of money to be writing off, because at the end of the day, it's members' money. Now, I recall that there was also a formal third-party review done, maybe by EY, about the way this whole USA event was handled or maybe mishandled. And the ICC board was very upset because they were suddenly asked to make a loan of $22 million at the very last minute, a few months before the event. And at that time, they apparently had no choice but to approve the loan. Otherwise, the USA leg of the event would have been severely impacted. And now it's being reported that out of the $22 million, $20 million is being written off. So who's responsible for this write-off? And how could there be such financial mismanagement around such a major event? where there are so many checks and financial controls and balances in place. So I'm really surprised. So strange goings on. In any case, as of now, so there is a question mark around this entire write-off episode. Look, I also recall that soon after the conclusion of the World Cup, a couple of very senior ICC officials who were heavily involved in the event suddenly resigned and left the organization. Perhaps there is a connection between this write-off and their resignations. Who knows? Anyway, let's move on. Again, on the asset side, the ICC has cash and other financial assets of around $434 million. That's a lot of money that they've got in their bank accounts. So overall, total assets as of the end of December 24 are $1.4 billion. Okay, now let's look at the liability side of the balance sheet. They have employee end of service benefits of 8.7 million. These are amounts that have been accrued on behalf of employees and will be paid to the employee when they leave the ICC. It's like an end of service provident fund. Now, they've received advances from commercial partners of 585 million. Effectively, these are event revenues from commercial partners that will be recognized as income once the events are completed. In the meantime, they are treated as advances because if for any reason the event or tournament is not held, then that money has to be given back to the sponsors and to the broadcasters. The ICC has also received deposits of 172 million against future contractual commercial obligations. This, in a way, is like a cash guarantee that they take from their commercial partners, just in case the commercial partner is not able to fulfill their contractual obligations. And these deposits give the ICC some breathing space to look for an alternate commercial partner. The ICC has also got accounts payable and accruals of $72 million. That includes amounts that they have to pay the full members. And then there's an associate members fund of $15 million. The funding to the associate members is approved annually by the board of directors, and the ICC acts as a custodian of the associate members' money. Look, this makes sense as there are 98 associate members of the ICC, and if the ICC didn't manage these funds centrally, it would become a mess. So this is effective and efficient money management. So the total liabilities of the ICC are 854 million, which means that the net assets minus liabilities of the ICC are 564 million, also called members' funds. So the 564 million is effectively the net worth of the ICC as of the end of December 24, and these funds are available for distribution to the members. So it's a strong balance sheet with plenty of liquidity, it seems. Now, out of this net worth of 564 million, the ICC has decided to pay a distribution to its members of 445 million and will retain general reserves of $119 million. Okay, so that's it on the ICC 2024 balance sheet. Now, I will make a concluding video on some high-level observations on the overall financial statements and maybe discuss some notes that are attached to the accounts. That may be of interest. Okay, till next time.